Boy, oh boy, gotta love that good old DCMA. I had just finished putting together this video and uploading it and saw the notification that I was a bad boy because there was a little bit of game audio in the background that was a smidge too loud and I was flagged. So we get to do it again. So commentary number 2. I wanted to talk today about Quake. What you're looking at now, very briefly, is, oh, it's already gone. That's how long it took. I wanted to show off that they did add some new accessibility options for the original Quake, which honestly blows my mind that we are still dipping into this well, but I love it. I love it. I've talked so many times on my channel about my love for all things Quake, and super excited to see that they have added some new features, done some bug fixes, believe it or not, refined the really cool Horde mode that I'm playing for you guys right now, and that accessibility stuff, which makes the font slightly easier to read. I always thought the Quake font was fine. I write in all capitals personally, so I identify with it. But the reality is, I understand that some people have difficulty navigating the menu, especially when you have the kind of running montage of gameplay footage in the background while you're trying to go through some of those options. It's definitely a little confusing. So I get that. I'm glad. I don't know why that wasn't done sooner, honestly. I don't know if this is an incentive or a motivational push by Microsoft. It doesn't seem like Bethesda themselves ever really cared about that. And not to say that in a bad light, Bethesda doesn't care about accessibility, but it just never seemed to be something that they thought about. But maybe now, because they're starting to invest more time into Quake again, they said, hey, what the heck? It's an easy fix, so I'm glad they did it. The big thrust of this update, though, is good old Quake Horde mode, which is very new to the scene, and Horde mode itself has been around forever. I've talked a lot about my love for Gears 3 Horde mode in particular, and obviously the firefight mode in the Halo games. It's nice to see that Quake adds that, and it makes a lot of sense from a perspective of how smooth and fluid the gunplay is, and how easily it is to change weapons, and just kind of that style of gameplay. So makes total sense to me. They've added 3 new modes, 3 new maps rather. They originally had 4 maps. I did a video on those a couple months ago. I will post a link below to my Quake playlist. You can go back and check those out if you're curious. That also includes, by the way, a cheap little promotion for myself. That also does include actually a really, really nice look at all of the DLC that they added, which was a significant amount of map packs. Machine Gun Games went back and did map packs for the original Quake in honor of its 25th anniversary, and they also just did a kind of just because one. So really cool stuff there as well. A lot of cool content to dive into. So if you're new to Quake, you've never played it, this is my sales pitch to you. Go play it because it's freaking awesome. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal experience. For nostalgia's sake, and there it is right there, you see it in the upper right-hand corner, I decided to play it on the old Bethesda net launcher, which is going away very, very, very soon as everything ports over to Steam, including save files and the copies of your games and everything. So if you're somebody like me who has a pretty large collection of games on the Bethesda launcher, make sure you port everything over to Steam. Unless you're just going to rely on Game Pass to give you everything. The problem with keeping everything on Game Pass, though, Game Pass isn't the best to work with for mods. Quake is a very heavy modded game. A lot of the best content is user-made. And as a result, you're going to have a very difficult time getting through all of the Xbox wrapper mumbo-jumbo to get to your favorite mod. So make sure you check that out. That's also on my Quake playlist as well, in case you're wondering how to do that or what that means for you. The reality is it's one less launcher, which is awesome. The downside is you got to port everything over. But once it's done and you have everything on Steam the way it's meant to be, it's super easy to mod. You're going to have access to the Steam Workshop. You're going to have access to all of those tools as well. It's going to make modding even more fun, and you're going to find there's some really cool mods for this game out there. The engine is incredibly robust, all things considered. I know there's a RTX mod that just came out, which is insane. I want to check that out at some point. I seem to do, it used to be like an annual Quake playthrough, and now it's kind of like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Like, I've definitely gotten much more interested in Quake, for sure. So, you know, on top of all that, really the reason I'm doing this video is just kind of showcase off the 3 new Horde maps. And they're basically giant arenas, all themed in some particular style or another, where waves and waves of enemies come to fight you. And there are a lot of power-ups you can pick up. A lot of enemies drop power-ups. You've probably already seen me pick up Pentagram of Protection once or twice. There's a quad damage every so often that drops as well. And there's a lot of just random power-ups laying around that respawn, bullet casings, armor, shotgun shells, that sort of thing, to keep the combat moving. Every few levels there is a boss wave, which is in some insanely hard monster, like this guy here who's going to absolutely destroy me in like 5 seconds. Or maybe I destroy myself. I just remember I die. I don't remember the specifics. I might actually grenade myself. Yeah, okay. And he walks away and teabags me. Why not? So yeah, so basically how this works is every map of the 3 new maps, and actually all of the Horde maps, there's a total of 7 now. You can see the list there. Basically, you're going to go into this arena, fight waves of enemies. There's a boss wave. After that, you'll get a key. The key will open up a door somewhere around the perimeter of the map, which will contain a very cool item. Grenade launcher, super armor, super nail gun, something like that, which will kind of make your fighting a little bit easier. This is totally meant to be played with other people. As you see, you can create a lobby. You can do custom stuff with bots, and they've done some work on that and the pathing and what pathing the AI takes and how aggressive they are. So there's a lot of really nice customization here that you can kind of tweak to your liking. But it's absolutely meant to be played with friends. And all my friends, as much as I love them, are lame, and they don't play with me. So it's me versus the world, which is actually kind of fun because it creates a very burst style gameplay. I mean, this video I think is going to be a little over 10 minutes when it's all said and done. And you're going to see me blow through 3 different games. Obviously, the first 2 weren't so good. This one was actually a pretty decent one. This was actually the infamous DCMA strike, was this part of the video, because originally I had stopped commentary so you can listen to the cool soundtrack, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. But yeah, so it's a little bit more of like a tidal wave in this point, like me versus the world, and that's fine. So the fact that they continue to show support for this is really cool. They have really kind of taken this back as like a passion project, and I wonder, this is just my theorizing, you know, Doom, the first Doom that came out was amazing. The second Doom that came out, and I'm talking the new ones. I'm not talking the OG. I'm talking the like Doom 2016 and then Doom Eternal, which was I think 2020, maybe 2021. The Doom Eternal was not as well received. Beautiful game, beautiful game. Not really well received. It really kind of strayed away from what makes Doom Doom. And I wonder if maybe the folks over at id kind of figured that out and said, you know, let's just try to like bring back the old stuff. And it's so funny because right after this patch came out, didn't tell any of my friends about it, 3 separate people came up to me and goes, oh, you know, that's really cool. I started playing Quake on my Switch, or, you know, I downloaded Quake the other day for the first time and it was really interesting. So they must clearly know something that I don't in terms of like, you know, Bethesda in terms of when to advertise and push this game out. But it's here. It's awesome. It's still awesome. Horde mode makes it more awesome. If you have some friends who are not dorks like mine who are willing to play with you, grab a few of them and see how far you can get. There is a like a very rudimentary score system for this kind of like how fast you can kill things, and you know, obviously it's just the gameplay is fun. It's going to get progressively harder, more and more and more, and faster enemies are going to come your way to the point that, you know, you're going to get overwhelmed. And that is expected. I don't know if you can actually beat this. Maybe somebody has. I'm sure you could if you really wanted to be a tryhard. You could turn on the old cheat system and have God mode, infinite quad damage, infinite whatever, and just go ham on stuff. But I don't know if this actually ever ends. Obviously, with more people, you'd have a better chance at it than me, but that's okay. I just love Quake so much, and I felt like I had to do another love letter to it because it's really a game that I find myself constantly coming back to. It's hard to say that really in today's game industry. A lot of these games are one and dones. You play something, you enjoy it briefly, you move on. Quake has been keeping me personally entertained for a very, very, very long time. Many, 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 many years. We've got QuakeCon coming up, so we'll see if there's any even new stuff there added as well. I don't know how far they can take this, but they've figured out a way to at least keep it relevant for me. And that's awesome. I'm sure there's other people like me out there who are enjoying it just as much. So thanks, Quake. Thanks for the memories. I love it. I can't wait to play more of it. I can't wait to check out more Horde mode. And as more cool things come out, I will continue to talk about them and throw them on the channel. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.